Welcome to the not-so-slow breakdown of one's moral fibre. Getting to discover and make sure that your future comes exactly as you prepare it. I think there's a few others that probably deserve that power more than Satoko. Granted, her life wasn't exactly brilliant starting off, and Rika did save her a bit, but not really repaying it too well. There are definitely easier steps than time travel shenanigan murder, but she already tried that one. Learning just wasn't for her. But I want to see where this goes. What are the other names that were brought up by this other spirit deity thing? How does it all tie in? Is there going to be some sort of resolution without needing to use the ancient spear tip thing to erase loopers completely? We'll have to see by watching more, so grab a drink, because we're about to begin. So, anything going to change now? Considering now splitting, going straight back into the tournament showdown. Was this what then went into the with Keiichi giving the doll? Is that time? I can't remember. Yeah. First time? Yeah. Why didn't she put down a few bets? I mean, it is slightly odd that she would have such close, prophecies. Now I want to know, were there any moments of the series where Setoko had that kind of, yep, I know exactly what's going on. But the weird thing is, I was about to say, her memory is got to be pretty good to remember all of this, and yet can't do simple studying for the school. But then it's, oh, got it wrong? Start again, just off herself immediately, try once more. Crushing victory. But how many corpses had to be left in her wake for that? And no one is starting to suspect anything, apart from Keiichi having a few glances and the like. Rika's just not using it properly, obviously. I think with Rika being trapped in this summer, for hundreds of years over, kind of repeating the same ins and outs, the levity of the situation and being able to have small wins like on this little game probably isn't all too impressive to her. But Sadako's ease of detaching what it means to go back and restart, the meaning of or the weight of life itself, it can come and go easily just to swap out the flip of a card. And if she's willing to do it for here, what else is she willing to do? At least she's aware of it. You know, after peering into the fragments of all the times that Rika has gone through this. Don't start the game until you are sure of winning. Although, claiming, oh, I have infinite times, infinite attempts to do anything I want. Yeah, that's until she gets bored, at least. Okay. If you have no name, I will now name you Jeremy. Makes it easier. Well, I did that already. Does she get to veto any name choices? What a weird name is Uia. Well, it is now. Is it something that I've noticed in previous things, or yes, it's things we have, like Keiichi remembering the bat and stuff like that, which were little flecks of history, yet Rika didn't really seem to take possession of these things and use them. And those memories are very vivid. So if memories do flit across into other times, what does it mean to all of the events? Is it not quite as fluid as we'd like to believe? No, she did. So it's an imperfect power, as to say, but huh. So Keiichi remembering that, batter up incident means that he would remember over every loop. Is that what was just meant there? It's just some obviously were just an inkling in the back of the mind rather than strong memory. But if she stays here for thousands of years trying to get the perfect ending and they all start picking up on things. Who? I remember many seasons ago, there was like a body in a bag in a river. Is this part of that? Because I don't think that was ever mentioned. Just because of the building type and what they look like. Oh, that's the uncle, I think, from that shirt. Huh. Keiichi was kind of close to Riku and whatnot, who's incredibly close to Sadako. This is interesting, actually, seeing things from his point. I mean, he's got no need to interfere with anything there. So it's quite a series of dreams he's been having there. Maybe he needs to get out of the house. Has he been self-medicating because of the fragments from all of the times here? I mean, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Maybe it's a bit of a wake-up call. Change habits of a lifetime. Try something new. Pachinko? When there's the inevitability of death and existential crises, let's go gambling! At least yeah, he was looking not as being annoyed there, but not having something as simple and sweet as just having a life like that. Is he actually lamenting? That would be interesting. Is there a? I was gonna say, is there a bear or something? But chocolate donuts work. Yeah, maybe not have him just sit watching a play park. I didn't think this was going to be. I can't remember his name. Was it Tepe or was that someone else? Anyway, I didn't. Yeah, expect this to be his hour of story time and episode, but it is a interesting flip of how we know this. You know, getting him in and why he returned to the village and whatnot. If he has a slight change of heart, because obviously we've only seen him as a complete and utter bastard, and yet him sitting in the pachinko parlor looking at the father and daughter, like, oh, okay, getting the donuts, him seeing himself dead, fear of God into. Second guessing. So why not stick this out and see what happens? Well, look who it is. And with Sadako's... Oh, that's interesting. Even with the ability to change time and everything, still got a lot of trauma packaged up there. And do you want these? There's some sort of play here, right? He can't just be seemingly generous of his own back. But if this is him actually attempting at a closer relationship, also all the fucking history here, it was the aunt that was abusing them, wasn't it? So maybe he wasn't that bad back then, and then got worse because of the stories that we've seen, and will come back into the village. So he's making amends for those times. I mean, that's why Satoshi kind of made the aunt disappear. But that's thrown all your plans, wrench in your plans, hasn't it? A perfect life with Rika, and then you got a family member that seems to be trying, despite many an unfortunate encounter. But can he avoid his fate, considering? Is anyone going to... But the delinquents are back. Do we have the community to stand up against them here? At least 2 wide. Oh, how big and scary. They are absolutely terrifying. Now let's see if it was all for show. Actually, no, it wasn't all for show. They did actually attack back. But taking the beating for her, standing up, there are obviously onlookers there. Granted, he was a little... Yeah, one guy on the ground versus the rest of you. Yeah, definitely self-defense there. You got to choose your wording better. Yeah, he doesn't have a good rapport with the police. But obviously, some people don't help themselves when it comes to how it's perceived on the other end. Conflict of interest here? Possibly. Hojo. Should have said it earlier. I remember that part of his name. Obviously, because it's, you know. Yeah, and she was just as confused as the rest of them. He doesn't want it on police record that he was, he's getting soft. There must be some big plot afoot. Well, because she's... he would already be in a cell without a phone call, without prosecution. waiting for him? I mean, I guess since things are so odd, you might as well see where this is going. If he's acting out of character of everything that you know, maybe there's a weird miracle going on. But yeah, witnessing your own demise would probably do that to you. Make you have a new lease of life. Seeing it just end in the gutter constantly, try and get something better out of it. And he might as well dying with at least someone caring for him. Not particularly the case, but not incorrect. Is this going to be a moment of realization and a kind of a lot of growth for his character, which I did not expect, for it all to go tits up by the end of the episode? Oh, we've only got a few minutes. By the end of the episode. I mean, if it wasn't his family, this is a very odd sentence to say, but at least, yeah. Maybe, every other weekend. Don't have to move right back in. Actually admitting it, okay, good. I mean, two ways this can go. Either another chance despite everything, or say no again and be a bit hurtful and see if he retaliates or does anything. If not, then maybe there's some truth behind the bars. As there's the trauma back up. Yeah, some things can't be easily fixed. And now the traffic is completely stopped and are witnessing an old man scare a little girl. It's such clarity on his part. It's interesting. Despite her willingness to end things, to drop a chandelier on her best friend, her own personal feelings of fear and death and whatnot, they win out. That's a route that I didn't expect coming, to be fair. Considering we've got Sadako kind of being the master of her own world here, trying to shape it into a future that she wants, for it all to be undone by this. Out of character conversations with a family member who admittedly probably doesn't deserve an easy second chance. But also, in this world, he hasn't done the stuff that we've seen. Just the bits that were mentioned before, with like Satoshi and the aunt and whatnot. I didn't expect many things here, but the power dynamic shifting so simply is interesting. It's not a rare thing for Higurashi to throw me through a loop and make me question what's going on and rethink how I see this show. But this episode has kind of stood above the rest in recent memory. Having a new looper join in and go off the rails and want to do their best, sure, we've seen that play out. We kind of guess where it's kind of going and whatnot. But having the memories of fragments of life past come to play in a character which so far has no or had no redeeming qualities, to now be wanting a family life, to make amends for his past, actually seems to be apologizing for being such a bastard, while also, putting on a brave front in front of the police and whatnot. She's still got my masculine macho exterior, while also, he doesn't want to die alone. Quite a universal feeling, I think. And then to have that in the midst of a infinite power struggle spiral of Sadako and Rika, to then have it seemingly quite grounded and human in this bit here, I can only assume it goes wrong. Because for his character, not being so vulnerable and open there, I don't think it's just going to be, alright, cool. He gets, no mention again, or he gets something of what would be classed as like a semblance of family. But with one episode left, I have no idea what they're doing for this. Because seeing this change, so that it could play it out and see where it goes. But then, would it be interesting? That's the whole point here, isn't it? If she's not interesting, then will she have the power? And like I said, the power dynamic shift. It's Satoko restarting her life over and over and over again just to win a card battle. And then here, can't even accept a handshake because of everything that she's suffered before. The PTSD striking her back with a sevenfold. It's like two entirely different storylines colliding and tearing each other apart, but still flowing coherently. That's how it feels in my head. I don't know what to say, but maybe because I've had this moment of thinking, obviously not in the same vein as him, but still, like my brother had a daughter a year or two back, and that's made me think about what I'm doing with my life. So seeing glimpses of your own demise, I understand would give him pause for thought, a second calling, a reason to, what, maybe this course of action, the regular beatings and having to escape the apartment because he got nothing. Yeah, it's not a great retirement investment, is it? But for a character that seems so self-centered and uh, object and money orientated and whatnot, to then have this, how much did seeing himself dead on his own floor fuck him up? What about the plans for the school? Where does that slot in. I guess we'll have to find out. We've got, not plenty more, but we've got some more Higurashi to go, and I'm thinking at least some of the questions raised and some of the things that are floating around in the back of my head might be poked and prodded and raised, but for now, I'm going to stay in that kind of uncomfortable feeling of having his character being shown this weakness, this humanity to him. Doesn't feel right. I think the worst part is that so many characters in this show have done heinous acts, but it's always under the influence of something else. Something else has pushed them to it, or there's some brain-eating parasites which is causing them to do, etc., etc., etc. But every single time we've seen him has played out the same. There's never any inconsistency. And yet in this one, none of that happened. So we're going off what was before, and admittedly he did say he'd hit her before, so, we can learn a bit there, but the depths of it haven't happened. So I can't judge him on that. And that's what's bugging me. Because everyone else, fine, I know the character, yeah, okay, sure. Oh, they murdered their friends? Yeah, well, it's just, it only happened a few times. I'm not giving him that leniency. Does he deserve it, though? I mean, there wasn't any external factors pushing on him, just a poor choice of upbringing and who he hangs around with. And gambling addiction. We'll leave that argument for if you want to have it in the comment section. I'm not. If you enjoyed this episode, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing if you want to catch more and not miss out. Maybe even join onto my Discord for memes and votes for upcoming shows. And notifications for when things do go live if YouTube doesn't let you know. But for now, get yourself a bit of rest. Think about how your life's going and how you want to make it better, without having to redo large sections of it. And I'll see you in the next one. I think it's time to thank my patrons who have helped me turn my life around so I'm not wallowing in the gutter. Thanks to Sal, Aegis TR, Darky26, Guado, Kite, Reds Racer, Ultra Pouring, Wolfie Sensei, Zug, and everyone else, I can continue watching anime without having the need to change history itself. Which is always easier. So, I hope we can continue for quite a while to come.